What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video. We're going to be continuing the CompTIA PenTest Plus learning path on TryHackMe. We are now in the localhost vulnerability section. For the Active Directory basics room, we're not going to go over this. You can go over this on your own time just because there's not a whole lot for me to go over in that room. There's a lot of reading material that you'll have to do on your end. We'll be hitting the Attacktive Directory room instead today. In this room, it says 99% of corporate networks run off of AD or Active Directory. But can you exploit a vulnerable domain controller? So let's go ahead and get started. In task 1, let's go ahead and deploy the machine. So task 1, we're just deploying the machine. It's telling you how to access everything, access the VPN server. Go ahead and complete all this. Or you can use the attack box. On to task number 2. So task number 2 is going to be the setup. So we'll have to install Impacket. So you can use these commands over here to install Impacket. I actually have it installed in my local downloads folder. But what you would do is you would copy this command over here. Plug it into your terminal. Then hit enter. And then it'll download it locally into your /op directory. So you can use Python to install the requirements using pip3. So the following command over here. Then after it finishes installing the requirements, you'll cd into opt Impacket and then run the setup.py and then space install to install and finish the setup. And then you'll also install Bloodhound and Neo4j. So you'd run apt install Bloodhound Neo4j. If you have any issues, you can try troubleshooting by running apt update and apt upgrade. Other than that, let's go ahead and complete. So on to task number 3, enumeration. Welcome to Attacktive Directory. We're prompted with the welcome to Attacktive Directory. It's just saying welcome to this room. And then on to enumeration, where we'll be using nmap to enumerate the machine. Let's go ahead and split the screen. Then go ahead and open up your terminal. And then you'll run nmap-pn-t4-a-p- and then the IP of the machine. So in our case it's this, but I already ran nmap, so we can go ahead and cat the output file. From our nmap result, we can see we have port 53, 80, 88, 135, 139, and all these other ports over here. And on to the questions. So what tool will allow us to enumerate port 139 and 445? So these are SMB, so we can use enum for Linux. So let's go ahead and run enum for Linux. What is the NetBIOS domain name for the machine? We'll let this run. Okay, it's still running, but we go ahead and scroll up a little bit. Looking at the domain SID, we see we have domain as thm-ad. We go ahead and copy that, paste that in here. What invalid TLD or top level domain do people commonly use for their Active Directory domain? A lot of people, when they build out their local Active Directory domain, they'll use a .local. They'll use the .local top level domain name. So we're going to go ahead and let this keep running. It's just enumerating a bunch of usernames or user groups. So let's go ahead and go on to task number 4, enumerating users via Kerberos. So again, talk about introduction. So Kerberos is a key authentication service within Active Directory. With this port open, we can use a tool called Kerbrute, which is created by Ronnie Flathers to brute force discovery of users, passwords, and even password spray. So we'll go ahead and open Kerbrute in the new tab. And let's go ahead, if you're on the Cal Linux, we'll go ahead and download the Kerbrute Linux AMD64. Just go ahead and click on it, and it'll download. Go ahead and Go ahead and split your screen or open up a new tab. Let's go ahead and go back to our TryHackMe directory. And let's go ahead and move that file we just downloaded to our local directory over here in the Attacktive directory. So downloads, Kerberos. Now we see that we have Kerberos over here. We'll do a change mod plus X so we can have it as an executable. When you see it as a slight green color, or looking at these variables over here, we see that we can execute it now. And you could do Kerberos-help to see the different arguments that we can specify. And for this box, a modified user list and password list will be used to cut down on time of enumeration of users and password hash cracking. It's not recommended to brute force creds due to account lockout policies that we cannot enumerate on the domain controller. So let's go ahead and you can open this in a new tab, or you can just copy the link and just do a wget. And then do the same thing for the password list, copy the link, do a wget. And if we do an ls, we see that we have both the files downloaded over here. Onto the questions. What command within Kerberos will allow us to enumerate valid usernames? Again, do Kerberos-h. If you look over here, user enum allows us to enumerate valid domain usernames via Kerberos. So go ahead and do user enum. What notable account is discovered? So now we can go ahead and run Kerberos. I do want to mention that we can find the domain name by looking at our nmap result real quick. So let's go ahead and go back to our Attacktive directory where our nmap output was saved and just do a cat nmap output. If you look at port 389, which is the LDAP port, we can see the domain name as spookysec.local. Go ahead and copy that. We'll need that for our Kerberos command. So go ahead and do Kerberos --dc for the domain. It will actually we'll need to specify user enum --dc 10.10.26180, and then we'll use the -d option for specifying the domain, which is spookysec.local, and then now the user list. So go ahead and run that, and now it's going to try to brute force the usernames. So what notable account is discovered? We see an svc-admin. Go ahead and paste that over here in the questions. Let that run for a little bit longer. So this is taking a little while. So we see we have James, svc-admin, which is one of the notable accounts discovered. We have Robin, Darkstar, administrator. See if he'll find any other ones. Backup looks like a notable one. Let's go ahead and type in backup. Looks like we have svc-admin in backup. On to task number 5, abusing Kerberos. So introduction, after enumeration of user accounts is finished, we can attempt to abuse a feature within Kerberos with an attack called asrep roasting. Asrep roasting occurs when a user account has a privilege, does not require pre-authentication set. This means that the account does not need to provide valid identification before requesting a Kerberos ticket on the specified user account. So retrieving Kerberos tickets. So InPacket has a tool called getNPUsers.py. Located in the InPacket examples getNPUsers.py. So this will allow us to query asrep roastable accounts from the Key Distribution Center or KDC. The only thing that's necessary to query accounts is a valid set of usernames, which we enumerated using Kerberos previously. So we have Robin, svc-admin, and then all these other ones over here. We have 2 user accounts that we could potentially query a ticket from. Which user account can you query a ticket from with no password? So we could go ahead and close this Kerberos out, and we'll go ahead and copy our getNPUsers.py file or .python file. So we'll go ahead and go to InPacket bin getNPUsers. Go ahead and copy that locally to our local directory. So we can see here we now have the Python file over here. That we have the getNPUsers file in our local directory. Let's go ahead and run Python getNPUsers-node-pass, and then the users file, if I can spell that right, and then users.txt. And then now we're going to specify the DC IP, which is 10.10.26.180, and then the Active Directory domain, which is thm-ad. And now we see that we have a potential query. We have a potential ticket from SVC admin, and then nothing from backup. So it looks like SVC admin is going to be our culprit. Let's go ahead and see, and let's go ahead and enter SVC admin into the first question. Looking at the Hashcat examples wiki page, what type of Kerberos hash do we retrieve from the key distribution center? So let's go ahead and do Hashcat examples wiki page. Let's go ahead and Google that. Go ahead and hit the first link. Then we'll just go ahead and grab this right here, copy that, and then just do a Control F and type it in. So it looks like it's going to be this type hash right here. What mode is the hash? The hash is going to be this mode right over here, 18200. Now crack the hash with the modified password list provided. What is the user account's password? Before we run Hashcat, let's go ahead and copy this hash that we dumped. And then let's go ahead and create we'll do nano hash. Go ahead and paste it in this file. So if we do cat hash, we see that we now have the SVC admin's hash in that file. So now we can run Hashcat with the module 18200 hash and then the password list that we downloaded earlier. Go ahead and hit enter. This may take a second or two to run. Looks like it finished. So now we have management 2005. Go ahead and submit that. So that's our password. On to task number 6, back to the basics. So enumeration. With the user's account's credentials, we now have significantly more access within the domain. We can now attempt to enumerate any shares that the domain controller may be giving out. What utility can we use to map remote SMB shares? That'll be SMB client. What option will list the shares? That'll be the -L option. So we'll go ahead and list the shares using SMB client list and then the IP 10.10.26.180, and then we'll do a -U to specify the username as SVC admin within single. You can do single quotes. Then go ahead and paste the password, and we list the shares. We have admin share, we have backup share, C share, IPC share, net logon, and sysfile. So we have 6 different shares that we listed. There's one particular share that we have access to that contains a text file. Admin, we wouldn't normally have access to this. Backup seems to be a share that stands out. So let's go ahead and try to access that. We'll do SMB client -- and then 10.10.26-180. I said dash, but it's going to be backslashes, 4 backslashes, then 2 more backslashes, and then the share name, which is backup in this case, -U for the username, which would be SVC admin. Hit enter. Go ahead and paste the password. Now we see that we are in, so you can do a quick ls to see your backup credentials.txt. To get the file, we'll go ahead and do get backup credentials. We can do auto tab complete by just hitting tab, hit enter, and then we can exit out of there. We'll go ahead and do a cat backup credentials, and we see this might be a base64 encoded query over here. So let's go ahead and do echo, and then pipe that, and then do a base64-D to decode it. And now we have this over here. Let's go ahead and answer this question over here. So it'll be backup. What is the contents of the file? Copy this junk right here. Go ahead and submit that. Decoding the contents. What is the full contents? Looks like we have credentials for backup at spookysec.local and backup 2517860, which seems to be the password. On to task number 7. Domain privilege escalation. So now we're going to be elevating privileges within the domain. So let's sync up. Now that we have new user account credentials, we may have more privileges on the system than before. The username of the account backup gets us thinking. So what is the backup account to? So, well, it is the backup account for the domain controller. This account has a unique permission that allows all Active Directory changes to be synced with this user account. This includes password hashes. Knowing this, we can use another tool within Impacket called secretsdump.py. This will allow us to retrieve all of the password hashes that this user account has to offer. So exploiting this will effectively have full control over the entire Active Directory domain. So we'll go ahead and do copy downloads in packet bin and the secrets dump. That's just where my packet directory is stored. If you downloaded it within the /op directory, you'll grab it from there, same file path. And then we'll do python secrets dump. And then we'll do the -just-dc. And then the backup at, if we can, backup at 10.10, if I can type right, 10.10.26.180. Hit enter, and then go ahead and grab your password right here. It's good to stay organized. Go ahead and hit enter. Looks like it's dumping. So what method allowed us to dump the ntds.dit? Using, looks like we're using this right here, the DRSU API method. Go ahead and enter that. What is the administrator NTLM hash? It'll be this right over here. What method of attack could allow us to authenticate as the user without password, without using a password? So you could try pass the hash. Using a tool called Evil WinRim, what option will allow us to use a hash? The -H option. It'll be the -H option. So we'll do evil-winrim -h for the help. Looking over here, we see the -H to pass the hash value. So we can do evil-winrim and then do I for the target IP, which is 10.10.26.180. Then the user is going to be administrator, and then the hash value, which will be the NTLM hash we just pulled. Looks like we now have a shell. So now we can go ahead and go to the desktop folder to grab a flag if it's in there. First, let's move on to task number 8. So submit the flags for each user account. So SVC admin, backup and administrator. So now we're in the administrator's desktop folder. Go ahead and type that out. root.txt. And then we'll go to C. We'll go to the C drive / users, and then backup, and then desktop. Do a quick dir. You'll see that we have a privs.txt file. So we'll go ahead and type that out. And now let's go over to the SVC admin desktop folder. So C /users SVC admin, and then the desktop folder. Do a quick dir. And we see we have the user.txt file. So type user, if I could type right. And that is it for this room. Hopefully you all learned something about Active Directories. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.